Hello YouTube, and welcome to episodes 8 and 9 in my Revue Starlight reaction series. Back here again, Revue Starlight Wednesday. I'm pushing this at the start of my videos now just because I really want to get to 500 subscribers, but if you haven't subscribed, please click that button. It'll make all my wildest wishes come true. So please click that button if you have the opportunity to do so. So last week we kind of jumped into a, I guess, paradigm shifting episode. It kind of presented the conclusion, or what's the light at the end of the tunnel for what we're doing here, and that potentially that light at the end of the tunnel has been in a cycle for, well, people say about 60 times. So yeah, Banana was always a character with a lot of intrigue, and now we have a little bit of that intrigue revealed, and now we're like, oh. So now what are we going to do to change that? How are we going to look at Banana from here on in as well, with her motivations and what she's going to do? All these questions and more answered today. Either way, I got the YouTube comments up here ready to go, starting off with Fruit here today. I always saw the fact that she doesn't sing during the ED, alluding to the fact that she doesn't allow anything to end, so she doesn't participate, allowing the episode to end by singing her part and the ending theme, so she doesn't want it to end, thus she doesn't sing the ending, which signifies the end of an episode, kind of a little bit of a meta aspect to it. I like that read for sure. Also, I think somebody counted the timelines or something and decided it was about 60 loops, which is insane. Yeah, she is like 60 years old or more, canonically. That's kind of fucked up, right? Mel D, next comment here. My favorite episode. I love time loops. I agree with you that the lighting is very neat. The shots with the light and the shadows and Nana's face, and it's all very well put together, as well as the unsettling slow head tilt at the end, which may be a little bit more ominous than I originally gave it credit for, we'll say. So towards that last scene before we see Hikari appear, the giraffe says a stage of destiny that no one can predict. And then suddenly a wild Hikari appears. I believe the giraffe took those words as her answer in order to see the unpredictable stage that he wants. So maybe taking a few liberties there, the giraffe, because at this point he's seen the same thing like 60 times. Yeah, maybe took a purposeful misinterpretation of what she was trying to say to make this thing happen. It's also fun to focus on Nana while rewatching the show with knowledge of this episode. The shot of her looking surprised when Hikari transfers in is in episode 1. The one we saw in episode 7 exists already in episode 1, and I think another person later goes into a few more details from those earlier episodes that are interesting now. A different theory regarding the ED as well, Nana's feet landing on the star at the end, while the other character EDs have them reaching out for it, she doesn't need to reach for it, she's already, done it. She doesn't need to sing the song, she's succeeded. We're in her, post-game, if that makes any sense. She's already beaten the final boss. She's just messing around, so of course she doesn't need to sing. Makes perfect sense. And yeah, probably a little Easter egg as well. Episode 7, the Japanese number Nana, meaning 7. Makes perfect sense, right? I would imagine that's more coincidental than anything else, but it's still very good. Yeah, here's the comment I was alluding to before. Sophie, like you said, this episode really recontextualizes a lot of Nana's moments early in episodes. Nana's looping is foreshadowed. She keeps saying stuff about last year's Starlight. Her reaction to Hikari's introduction emphasized in episode 1, where in episode 1 it would have been weird if we emphasized it, but now we understand why. Her constant cornering of Hikari in episode 2. I remember this, kind of Hikari tries to go down the elevator or look at the elevator or something, and then she's like following her and like making sure to give her muffins and stuff. Recontextualizes a lot of that for sure. The disagreement with Class B students over the casting in episode 5 as well, where she insists on keeping Maya and Claudine as the leads. So she's had her way 60 times or so, and now somebody's coming in and wants to change things, and obviously she isn't coping. And yeah, lots of other fun little moments to point out. Yeah, it's what a good twist does, recontextualizes stuff, right? Ryan next here with probably something I probably should have noticed. It's a really specific production detail about the episode. So there's a number of points here, but the first one, when characters talk to Nana, it almost never occurs that both Nana and the others are in the same frame. So specifically think of about that first scene where they're at the kind of after party. It was specifically like shot of, I think it was Mahiru, Karen, and Juna maybe, reacting to something, and then you would just hear Nana. You wouldn't see the reverse shot, or at least initially. And then when you did see the reverse shot, there would be not many other characters in it. She isn't part of the group. She is very separate in that way. Yeah, symbolizing that they don't really see eye to eye. When Nana says that she loves last year's Starlight, the other character's like, yeah, me too. But they don't love it just as much as Nana does, right? There's just one frame of this apparently, but Juna says some people dropped out. So those characters, two of them that dropped out, I think, Karen immediately tears open a banana snack bag, implying how much Nana is heartbroken at this revelation. So in the background, again, not seeing eye to eye, none of the other characters really notice this. Then the statue, the perfect woman, symbolizes the stage girls, especially emphasized in the first scene where Nana says, the stage girl, Dai Banana is born. Camera cut to the statue. So yeah, interesting to see this read, which is probably the correct read of the statue going forward with the show as well. Also, this episode really showed what it means to be the top star. It's not the time loop itself that shocked me first, but how serious the giraffe is about everything. The magical thingy only happened underground, but this episode shows that it can impact the rest of the world in very, very, very many ways. You essentially get a wish. And yeah, just a little bit of a stopping point guide as well, right there at the end. All the episodes pretty solid. You can go at your own pace. I've come into a bit of time today, so I'll do two. Why not? I like the show, so, you know. Next comment here, Mo Temo. Great reaction. Definitely an episode that surprised everyone, either my fave or second fave episode of the TV anime. Interesting. Yeah, just reiterating a couple things that people have said earlier, such as Nana being in separate frames and the stage of destiny that no one can predict, and then that leading to the current timeline potentially. I guess I'll add here that her theme OST that played in this episode, Rondo Rondo Rondo, sounds like the main OST theme of the show. Starlight on a loop. It's almost as if Starlight the play itself could never be finished. Interesting. So it's Revue Starlight as a show is kind of like the Banana show as well, right? Through that kind of connection. So if her OST theme sounds like the opening, and we're in kind of Banana's world as we think, right? Banana's stage, it makes perfect sense that that opening would sound the way it does, right? The road to hell is paved with good intention fits here. Shows how such a kind and caring person like Nana can become twisted in a way. I still think she's like a good girl. But again, that head tilt at the end, yeah, a little bit ominous, a little bit. And then going into stopping points. So yeah, potentially I'm going to do this first route, because I'm predicting next week I'll be pretty busy again, because I'm kind of on a 2-week roster there. So 8 and 9 this week, then 10, finish up with 11 and 12, movie the next week, and then we're donezo. Unless there's some significant pushback to watch any of the, I believe they're chibi shorts or some equivalent. There's some shorts there. Maybe I'll check them out on my own time and give some thoughts. And Marsh here reiterating some very similar stopping points, saying that, hey, you can divide 10 through 12, divide them up however. I think 12 works better as a solo than 10, though. Again, we'll see how I'm going next week. I would rather do more episodes than less every week, I'll tell you that for a fact. Claire Allen's next comment here. I agree that while the introduction of the time loop mechanism itself is surprising, the decision of Nana to start and continue the loops fits very well in what we've seen of her character so far with her idolization of the past and her aversion to change. This was one of my major points last week, that, yeah, time looping as a concept and it existing in the show should have been way more of a bigger surprise than it was, and I think it's nothing but a compliment to the show that it just fit the way it did. There are many small character moments with Nana throughout the series that other commenters have mentioned that make sense when the full picture is revealed. While Juna is my favorite character overall, I would say that Nana is my favorite in terms of character writing. Speaking of Juna, glad for the Juna shoutout, because I'm always down for some Juna appreciation. I like that we see a different side of her this episode, when it's just her and Nana. Bit of a different vibe than the straight-laced class prez that everybody else knows. Yeah, it's all about perspective, yeah. That episode is pretty much entirely Banana perspective, and then you see Juna in a different light. Makes perfect sense. They're roommates. They seem to be the closest pair between those two characters, you would think, right? If you were pairing up characters, you would obviously go Futaba Karako, you'd go Karen Hikari, you'd go Mahiru and no one, I guess. Sucks to be Mahiru. And of course Maya and Claudine. So yeah, I understand why she got a little bit more of a shining light last episode, I'll say. G-Bird with, I guess, a question to other people. I wonder how the other medias, musicals, games handle this plotline. Maybe we go in a completely different direction. Maybe somebody else has won in that particular world, right? But then again, it wouldn't loop if somebody else won. So I'm imagining that it's pretty much the same every time. Speaking of something like this, how are we going to rectify this? I guess it just means that the Starlight, whatever you call it, the audition process is an open game now. Like anybody can win. It's not bananas to lose now. You would think that with Hikari being the difference, that Hikari would potentially be in a prime position to win. You would think that would be my implication, especially with all of the subtext around Claudine and Maya potentially needing to pass on these lead roles. I'm just wondering, so what's the conclusion to our TV anime, and what's our conclusion to our movie? I'm just trying to plot it out in my head a little bit, or maybe I should just kind of let it happen. Bamps here with another question for pretty much other people. The play features 8 main members, but what about the review? We know this time there was 8 participants, then Karen inserts herself into the competition, but what about before? Was it just 7 before, or am I missing something? Ivoli Ravioli with a little bit of an answer here, saying that Karen did potentially participate in previous loops without Hikari, but didn't really have the motivation to continue with it. So again, this is they're unsure, but it sounds legit to me, right? Like Karen intrinsically becomes more involved because of Hikari. You may think that, hey, Hikari showing up may mean that Hikari is going to win, but another interpretation could be that Hikari showing up is the, I guess, catalyst for Karen to give a shit and actually win, right? Okay, so how are we going to tackle this name? Ultimate? Because I know this part. It's got some connotations. How about just ultimate? Sure, that'll work. The Takarazuka Revue places really, really big emphasis on height equaling acting skill. So Banana being taller than everybody else, even Maya, may be a hint at her potential from the very start. Also ties into Futaba's lack of confidence. I remember she maybe placed pretty poorly in those opening exams, being the shortest character. Of course, the Takarazuka Revue being what this show is loosely based on. Nana joining Class B is a ploy for more control over Starlight, over Hikari, to avoid letting things slip further out of her grasp. Interesting. I like this. I like that interpretation, right? She's a foreign element, and as much as Nana wants her in her Starlight, she threatens the peace and needs to be included only by her own design. So that's why Banana's making the move she's making this loop. Interesting. The draft is a manifestation of the will of the audience. As Nana kept winning over and over, the story became uninteresting, and in kind of a non-literal weird way, Hikari was introduced to make it interesting again. Of course, that's what the draft is looking for, right? Total amount of time she's looped is somewhere around 60, I think, counting the timelines that are shown in this episode. Very, very cool. And that brings us to the end of the YouTube comments. Bit of a longer segment this time. But yeah, just a bit of a recap. Basically, it's a very hard episode to recap, actually. She's looping. She's like super looping. And Banana was in control, and now through a weird kind of wording thing, I think is the implication now, Hikari is here. And this is different, and Banana was in control and now potentially isn't as much in control as she thought. So Banana potentially still looming in the background as a bit of a final boss-ish figure. Again, this episode is pretty self-contained, other than, opening the curtain a little bit. It's pretty, it just indicates that Banana knows more than we think. There's not really a really obvious continuation from here. I would be thinking that we're about overdue for some Claudine and Maya stuff. I would think that that's where we're going, right? Those two characters probably deserve 2 episodes, and people say that 8 and 9 go together pretty well, so that's what I'll be thinking is happening here. Either way, we're still looking at a lot of our themes: rivalry, top stars, review, towers, sacrifice, chasing somebody, who should we be chasing, time travel, of course, and gayness. Gayness is a very big theme too. And yeah, I'm going to jump into the episode now, but not without my shill stuff. Again, if you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more videos like this one, consider subscribing. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to improve my presentation, comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you'd like me to follow you back, and the Discord. Join Discord. Love Discord. Discord. And yeah, jumping into episode 8 of Revue Starlight right now. Rightio, got episode 8 of Revue Starlight up here ready to go. Let me pop that up there. I just switched the lighting up too, so don't be alarmed. 24 minutes and 5 seconds on the episode, using some subs, they exist, and there's a picture-in-picture version in the description below for those interested. Without any further ado, I'll give it a 3, 2, 1. Rightio? 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. Yes, that quote that's at the start of a lot of episodes. Hello, you would think Hikari? Indeed. So it's like Hikari's side to the Karen thing, yeah? Yeah. It's pretty ominous, huh? Indeed. Oh, they loved it. Hold hands, you. The only two that matter, the only two in the spotlight. Think about it. Um, how did they like meet? Were they just sitting next to each other? That's kind of funny. Did they know each other beforehand? Did they go as a group? Many, many questions and more to be answered in the future. So from the start, he is seemingly not really a Claudine Maya thing. Bit more of a Hikari thing. That could work too. She still needs some work. So I'm just trying to think back. Like I guess character POVs changed a lot through the episodes, but I never really thought about it until the banana episode, right? So in the Mahiru episode, you're explicitly following Mahiru's thoughts and feelings, right? And we've never really got much Hikari thoughts and feelings. Got a lot of Hikari actions, but not really that side of it, right? And this is the central relationship. I guess that's important. It's got that bear shit. Bottle of lotion, sure. Go off, I guess. Oh, you're writing. So this is in the UK. Was she in? That's good. Did I need to know her weight? That's great. We love the 99th show. We can't get enough of it. You reckon? That's cute. I like her uniform over there too. So is she actually like reading this? Yeah, she opened the letter. Non. Can't forget the hair clip. That's very similar to the first episode and what Karen does. Comes back for the hair clip. Oh god, it's sunny England. Okay. Are you just running to school? Okay. This is a very interesting direction for this episode, for sure. Huh. Yeah, very similar to the jump she did back at back in Japan. That's good. Yeah. Which, this kind of stuff makes, Hikari's, I guess, temperament when she comes back to Japan very interesting. Because if these were the letters she was sending back, then it must have been such a surprise for her to be like that with Karen. Not Dom Dom. Oh, they're on the same slide that they were in episode 4? Yeah. Oh no. Have to separate for your own good. Yeah. You don't need to write anything back. Yeah, she is pretty intense. There you go. Yeah, we will. See how I pulled you up? Think about it. Ume? Yeah. Ume? Don't know what Destiny, how to say that in Japanese. Oh, you're being a big old tsundere about it. That's good. It's a very jaunty tune, too. Indeed. Okay. So why'd you come back? Just the side character. You want to be that knight. But the knight looks pretty cool, so I don't know if you can do that. Uh, uh, uh. Oh, London version? True. I would, yes. You did pretty well, though. I've heard some pretty bad English on the channel. Oh, look at her. She's cool. This is a very weird direction for this episode, eh? So these exist all over the place. Wow. And of course, we know why you're motivated about that. It's just the exact opposite of uh, Karen. Not the bear. Yeah, but I don't think that she's going to be an easy beat. She looks cool. Okay, alright, you're fighting other people. You're not fighting the big boss straight away. Nah, big boss is gonna. Yeah. Or not? Oh no, okay. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I thought this may be the case. She's got like a JoJo hat on. Who's the. What's your name, miss? She's cool. Okay. You failed. Her room's about as clean as mine. Okay, same like morning routine, right? Bit lighter. Okay. Judy. Yeah, I don't know. Couldn't tell you a thing about it. Yeah? I don't know. What is wrong with you? Well, that's the worst thing that you can be. Oh, look at the effects. This place looks cool. Oh, the shaking, though. Why does it look so good, though? She's lost her head here. Yeah. I mean, at that body weight, you probably shouldn't be losing weight, yeah? Oh, okay. No, right. Gotcha. Thought we're talking some broader, like, health stuff. But no, you've lost the special something else. Oh, she's in like a marine museum. Remember how she liked jellyfish? There's something in that for sure. Oh wait, no, it's just like a normal museum. Don't know. Something about Starlight. Just now. Okay, that's a language thing. Because it felt fine to me. Not the stupid giraffe. Is that it's a giraffe skeleton? You can call the giraffe? Well, look at that little little pink something. Oh, he's calling back. The pink. Think about it. Oh, on either side of the bridge. Yeah. Ooh. Yo. Okay, hang on. This changes everything too. Yeah. Yo, this is some Madoka shit. Huh. What is this pose? Well, because it's getting boring over there. His stance is kind of killing me. Okay, fair enough. Oh. Okay, so you're going to justify it in the real world. What do you think? Ooh. All right. changes everything in so many ways and recontextualizes a lot of Hikari's start to the show too. Oh, we get an actual review. Good. I thought it had been a while since we had a song. Starlight, of course. The final boss is here? Hello, Die Banana? I have the high ground? She's killing it? You don't fight the final boss like this, though. Oh, she looks mad. The voice. Okay. I got two swords, by the way. I'm a dual wielding class from an RPG. Nakama. Well, those same smoke machines. Oh! The stage is going to personify that stage where you, like, lost it. Oh. Is this a Claudine versus Karen? Starlight with you. Oh, she's sick. Demon Lord. Yeah, now it's like more of an actual hand. It's the same promise. Oh, just explicitly Karen. Yeah, and how are we going to change it from that other performance we saw in sunny old England? You reckon? We're going to starlight the shit out of everyone. Yep. Ah. Yes. Determination. Firming of ideals. Oh. Okay, so we're panning through a bunch of people. Oh, she's cool. Yeah, she's kind of stupid. Yeah, not my personal glimmer, right? Damn. Did she get murdered? Yeah. I can't beat Banana. She's pretty good. Oh, no, okay, we're still in it. What else? Oh. I was going to say we ran out of, like, electricity budget. Yeah? That's like Moonlight shit. What is happening? She altered? Oh, okay. Alright. She remade her own Glimmer. Oh, Fire and Water too. Great stuff. Oh, I think you're in trouble, Banana. This is the by far the best put together musical sequence too. This feels like the finale. This is crazy. This is like all I want out of everything. I think we got her. Later. Oh. Oh. Did I get tricked? Or did we both win? Okay, we both won. There you go. That's big. That's big for the Starlight with You camp. Do I understand what? Well, yeah. There's a lot of ominous stuff around the pairing. Yeah. Probably not. Yeah. Whatever together with her means. Yeah, that was amazing. That was really good. I was hoping to come into this episode and it be a little bit more of a cool off one, so I could get through it relatively quickly and move on to the next one. But no, I'll have way too much to say about this one. Unfortunately, I'll have to do my job. Um, so one thing we learned is, at least over in Britain. So we finished their whole round of auditions, right? Judy, I believe her name was immediately like that 5% better than everyone else, and some of the characters even noticed it. And then Hikari felt way worse. Hikari's like, "Where's my motivation? Where's my glimmer?" I think we're calling it. There's a little part about it having physical weight as well, which I think is a little bit more of a mental thing, but you know what I mean. So it's interesting that hey, we can't power this tiara, this thing, this wish, whatever happens in the end, without the explicit loss of somebody else, right? Of what they want, right? And their motivations and their whatever their glimmer may be. We need to harvest it in order to make the rest of it happen. Which is the very, very, very definition of a zero-sum game, one of the major themes I've been talking about this entire time. This kind of justifies my viewpoint, which is cool. Okay, post credit. Ooh, there's a draw. I feel so, yes. Yeah, jumping into a bit of analysis on episode 8. So that episode was really damn good, but I haven't really written any kind of summary yet because I think it's a very, very hard episode to summarize in, 4 points? Whatever I generally like to do. Therefore, I may leave that till the end of this segment, even after even after the next episode, maybe as well. Just again, seeing where a lot of this goes because I need to kind of summarize 2 separate time periods because there is a time jump in this episode as well. One thing I did write is kind of this point, kind of jumping off of this rivalry zero-sum game, kind of what I was talking about in the ED, where surprisingly enough, there's a very similar draft game thing over in London. There's an explicit stealing of something from someone else to power something else to, like, it's literally a zero-sum game with something to lose, something at stake for the other party, even if they didn't initially know it. So yeah, there's stakes here. You're not just participating, you may lose something in the process. If Hikari and Karen end up winning, it may be at the detriment of the other 7 girls. Yeah, there's 9. The other 7 girls, for sure. Similar thing could happen here, for sure. Definitely. Could you imply something about Banana's win, potentially, as well, where her stage, what she wanted, was to, relive that stage from the previous year. Is that to the other people's detriment as well? These people that are looking to the future, these people that are looking to the next great experience, is detrimental for them to essentially be in the same loop again and not even be cognizant of it? Is that their curse? Is that their glimmer that's been stolen? I don't know. It's an interesting one for sure. I think I'm just going to get the episode up proper because I have a lot to say about it, and we'll see where that takes us. So we start on essentially what is Hikari's version of the Karen opening sequence that we've seen a number of times now. It plays out very similarly using some repetition, which is expected. It's essentially a shared experience between the two. Again, like just showing the similarities between Karen and Hikari's worldview when it comes to Starlight the play and what they want to do and that kind of thing, right? So the play Starlight, the 8 girls, they clash, collide, grow closer, even as they pass each other by. However, it is a tragedy where an eternal parting awaits. An eternal parting. An eternal parting between potentially you two, right? You'd think likely with the way we're framing and that ominous kind of line by Banana at the end, right? Oh, you'd think so. They fail to achieve their dream, two younger Hikari and Karen people, children, watching along in awe. I think this is ominous for the future of you two. I think this bodes poorly. Again, we've gone through this opening sequence a lot, seeing themselves on stage, picturing themselves in those roles. These 2 seats, the spotlight on it, nobody else in the crowd, the holding of the hands. There's lots going on here to emphasize this connection and this core memory that these two share. Cool, and then we're over in sunny old London. And we start the episode by kind of reading out a letter which Karen has sent to Hikari. Probably placing this scene we're seeing right now somewhere within Karen's first year as well, right? Excuse me, does she call her Kagura Hikari-sama? Excuse me? That's a bit intense. And always starting a letter with a little bit of small talk about the weather always works. Not that I've written many letters in my time. So we see this sequence play out here, right? And we see a very explicit kind of playing off of the sequence later on when she's a little bit worse for wear. So it's kind of a setup for later, as well as just kind of a morning routine. We love a good morning routine scene. Yeah, and Karen's just obviously explaining how excited she is at Seisho and telling her all those experiences, right? Being a good pen pal. Again, I've never gone through something like this where one of my best friends has moved country, so I've never had to go through this. And especially in, the information age, you would just, FaceTime them or something, right? it would make way more sense. But I'd imagine this is how it would go for people that used to write letters and stuff. Kind of makes me think that when is this show in in time? Does that make sense? It said 2017, yeah? They would all have smartphones. But they kind of do. Some of them have flip phones. Oh no, just call her. Right? Just message her. I'm just remembering now the messy room makes a lot of sense, right? Considering what Mahiru is upset with her about in the start of that one episode. That's nice and cohesive, isn't it? So she's got a messy room over here, and that's a no-go when she's back over sharing the room with Mahiru and Karen in Japan. Right. Gotcha. I said in the moment as well, but this is very explicitly similar to Karen's kind of waking up scene in that first episode as well, where she goes back and gets that hair clip, again emphasizing that connection above anything else. The only reason I'm doing this is because of that connection as represented by hair clip. It's a pretty easy one, but it's very, very effective too. Even to the point like telling the photo that I'm leaving for the day. Is it that intense, guys? I don't know. Maybe it is based on that last performance. She was pretty into it. And then we see sunny old England. Hello, England. Yeah, obviously an architectural difference, which is, apt. We see here this bridge, famous England bridge that I'm forgetting. Yeah, apparently called Tower Bridge, which is a integral element to kind of the revues downstairs in London. Kind of very similar to Tokyo Tower as is to Tokyo. That would make sense, right? Kind of taking a famous landmark from whatever city they're in and using it as a jumping off point for a lot of the performances. Makes sense to me, I guess. So I'd need to go back and check, but I don't remember. I thought there was something where I used to write you letters, Hikari, but you didn't used to write letters back. And they say it later in the episode as well. So I don't know if she ever wrote letters back, but what she's saying right now feels like a letter back. So I don't know. Maybe I was just misremembering that. So yeah, this is all about contrast, about what happens by the end of this segment in London, how she feels by the end of this segment in London. What will we say she is now? Probably determined, ready to tackle each and every day with that end goal in mind, potentially with a little bit of glimmer backing her, a little bit of starlight, and potentially that getting stolen away by the end of the sequence. Yeah, something like that anyway. Again, we're just very similar to the first episode of the show. For Karen, we're explaining how the school is, what they do, showing a lot of stuff that they are doing in the school, how class goes from day to day. I think there's a very similar scene in which she's, in dance class and doing a big old jump or whatever. Yeah, it's obviously indicative of that, obviously referential, obviously building meaning that way. So I was almost going to shout out this character design in the moment for being like really intense and like a pretty cool character design, right? And it turns out I was right. They did their job correctly because she is cool, because she is the best. Judy, I believe her name is seemingly the Tendo Maya equivalent for what we have going on here, right? Like Banana equivalent in the way that she won, but Tendo Maya equivalent in the intensity and the even character design, narrowing of the eyes, that kind of stuff. So there's this little part here where we see some, I guess, paper and letters. Maybe she wanted to write this letter but didn't send it. I don't know. I think this is way too specific, and I shouldn't keep worrying about it. Cool. Then we get this flashback. Very, very important. That we are again. What's this in the background? What? Tokyo Tower. What's this in the foreground? Big old slippery dip slide thingo. Yeah, it's very similar to episode 4. Very, very cool. Obviously building meaning in the reverse way, right? This meeting back here again at Tokyo Tower, it now makes a lot of sense why it was an unsaid thing that they were meeting at Tokyo Tower as well, back in that episode. Yeah, this is just good stuff. Kind of the last goodbye almost between Hikari and Karen before Hikari goes overseas. And again, if you're more into your like little kids cute side, I'm sure you'll get a lot more out of this, but her saying Don Don is just it's a little bit much. I do buy it emotionally though, that's good. So I think she justifies it later in a piece of dialogue, and I might let that speak for itself, but essentially it's not I'm leaving for your sake. It's more of a I'm leaving because I'm scared as well, right? In a very similar, more human way, IMO. So from memory, okay, another great piece of framing. We had in the episode 4, we had Karen standing on top, of course, helping Hikari back on. There's also been a piece of dialogue, I believe, from Tendo Maya way back in the day, saying that she doesn't have that like little bit of extra something in episode 1 about Hikari, right? She doesn't have her heart in it, or something to that effect, right? I think this is Hikari gaining that back after it was lost during her time in London. A lot of stuff from previous episodes coming back and making a whole lot more sense. Back to this slippery dip idea. I forget if I finished it. Kind of Hikari standing on top, not Hikari, Karen standing on top in episode 4, helping Hikari up the slippery dip slide, as opposed to this other side that Hikari's helping Karen up in this time period. So kind of each got their side of the pinnacle. Again, building on that visual idea. Red and blue contrast. There's just a ton going on, really. And that's not even getting into the review, which is insane. Oh, we actually justify it. Can I call you? No, apparently, Hikari's like refusing calls. from Karen in a way, right? That's a little bit mad, and that's why the letters exist. That's why they're doing the letter thing. I mean, how can you say no to that face? Of course she's going to let her send letters. Here it is, right? Handhold, pull up, same pose, in front of the tower that exists so below as well. That pinnacle, either side of the pinnacle. I'm happy that I've said all these ideas early in the show and now they're coming to fruition later in the visual design. It makes me feel smart, makes me feel all gooey and warm inside, which is good. I don't know what I'm saying anymore, but sure. I feel smart. The show makes me feel smart, which feels good. Something I was even just thinking about then is that they're even on the right side of the frame. So, according to this frame I have on screen right now, you have Karen on the right, Hikari on the left. That is the same side that they're on now. It completely mirrors the position that they would be in the Starlight show, even at this point. We're explicitly bringing up the idea of destiny here as well, which is something that is kind of a lot of the drive behind this eternal lead talk as well, right? Yeah, I acted cool in front of you, Karen, but actually, I knew I did this for my own sake. If I didn't cut you off like this, I would end up wanting to see you. Yeah, so it's about kind of separating, working hard because we're separated, and then reuniting beneath the spotlight, that same spotlight that was on us in the opening sequence as well. Makes a lot of sense. Kind of. I get why they did it. So because of this drive, I couldn't be satisfied with what I just have, so I'm practicing super hard to get that lead. I think I'm playing like a side character, king character in whatever play we're doing in London. I want that lead, I want that knight role. And then this is what confused me. We get a notification on our phone, a very familiar sounding notification. I'm like, huh? What? Welcome to Underground Theatre London branch. I imagine it's like the same giraffe as well. We get some excellent English from the giraffe, as again we're mirroring kind of Karen's first episode with Hikari over in London. It's actually pretty good English. I'm not gonna even lie. And yeah, a lot of this stuff will be very familiar to those that have watched the rest of the show. Who this is, why they have like a cool hat and like a jacket on the side of their shoulder, the star tiara, the audition process, the leaderboard, it all just makes sense, right? There we go. The one who will stand on the stage of destiny. That's where we're bringing in our destiny idea from before. I guess Hikari here is a little bit hesitant initially, like, huh, what are we doing? But as soon as we're talking about that eternal lead and kind of the being the best process of it, right? She gets a little bit more interested. Yeah, specifically calling out the stage of destiny. Right, cool. Cohesion, it's cool. Yep, so now we see Hikari taking place in these auditions. Very familiar costume to us, of course. Yeah, and starts slowly but surely moving up that leaderboard in a very quick kind of montage sequence. However, eventually comes up against, again, I believe her name's Judy, and she's just cool. So she like wipes the floor with you. Yeah, look at her. She's got like JoJo shit on. Again, I'm not very familiar with JoJo, but yeah, she's just cool. I think that's just code for she's just cool. Yeah, look at her. I don't know, she's cool. Yeah, so this marks the end of the auditions. The final audition, Hikari ended in second, did not get that tiara. And after learning this, we play out that very similar opening kind of morning routine sequence from the start of the episode. Slightly less weight this time, though, which comes back in a weirdly practical way later. So here we see Judy doing some dance and stuff. She's very shiny. It's ridiculous how good she's become suddenly. Can we imply that maybe she got that tiara? If it was a wish for a stage, right? Did she wish for a stage where she was the frickin' best? And now she's just ridiculously good? Yeah, and again, Hikari's a little bit dumbfounded at it all. She's just off, right? You know when you're just off? She's just off. Like opening and close that hand just doesn't feel right, right? It's a weird one. It gets to the day of their performance of whatever play this is, and she's kind of weirdly, it's like almost out of body on the stage, right? She's like really aware of her own actions in the moment. So what's wrong with me? I should be emotionally invested. I should be trying. I should be engaging with it. I don't feel either major feeling that comes with a stage play, neither nervous nor exalted, very excited to be singing, right? I love singing, but stage makes me nervous, and I'm feeling none of those two extremes. What gives? It reminds me of you know in The Simpsons where like Bart loses his soul. It reminds me of that a little bit. You're just off. Just doesn't feel right. So this is a visual element that we play with and use later as well. This kind of burning castle, with it would eventually looks like a hand in the background. But this is very very impressive production wise for a high school production of whatever they're doing over in England. I guess it's a prestigious school. We'll give them that. So okay, another great idea. Oh, this episode's great. Um, the holding of the sword here, the shaking, the kind of nervousness, the not even nervousness, just unsureness at what we have going on, that turns into like a firm grip and determination later in the episode. But this is our setup, right? This is how she's feeling, as represented by one hand reaching out with a weapon. Look, it's the big old hand. It feels like the stage itself is almost attacking her. I think the implication here is that she's like this takes the rest of them like out of the play as well, right? She's like not exactly doing stuff the way she's supposed to be doing stuff in the play. Yeah, she's having a little bit of a breakdown. And then yeah, we start talking about the little bit of weight that we lost, and that's implied to be some kind of glimmer, some kind of extra something that made all this worth it. Motivation, whatever you want to call it, right? Just everywhere I'm seeing these now though, just like everywhere, right? Like even in London, the pink dot disease. I would imagine that she just said Macbeth. I would imagine they're doing some kind of Shakespeare. That would make sense. But I'm not all too familiar. I think the last time I read a Shakespeare was in like my last year of high school. So yeah, questioning why she was standing on stage, taking this little solo detour to a museum. Again, I said it was kind of similar to the aquarium thing we had going on in episode 4 as well, but kind of not really. There's some language thing here that I'm not quite getting. It's almost flippant about the promise that she had with Karen, not treating it with that same reverence, that same verve that she did before potentially. Um, and then yeah, what's happening to me, what has happened, it's that damn giraffe, I'm gonna call him. It's kind of what this scene's about. Yeah, it goes to call the giraffe, which I didn't even know was possible. Kind of like you see the shadow of, I don't know if it is a giraffe. I would imagine it's like a giraffe skeleton. Um, again, framing. Scary shadow overlooking, I guess, initially naive girl that didn't understand that, hey, there may be a cost to what we're doing in the audition process. Yeah, if it wasn't bleedingly obvious, there it is, shadow. Yeah, they don't really say this next part, right? So whoever wins the audition process downstairs and gets the tiara, they'll be bestowed a ton of good shit, right? But if we lose, we'll have it all stolen from us. It's kind of the fine print. They don't really tell you. So yeah, the birth of a top star requires a fair amount of fuel, and we took your glimmer. We used everybody's glimmer that was in the competition to fuel this tiara, to fuel that energy, right? This is why I said it was kind of a Madoka adjacent, and again, I won't even elaborate for the people that haven't seen Madoka, but yeah, I can see it kind of, right? There's a little bit of trickery afoot, let's say. So the giraffe, presumably the same giraffe that's in Japan as well, because he's like a supernatural giraffe. Um, there's a lot of Hikari glimmer still remaining, right? It's not all bad, right? But hey, if you want to recover your glimmer that you've lost, you should make your way to the next set of auditions, which will be held in Japan. Okay, so they're not going simultaneously everywhere. We're moving shop to Japan. Okay, that makes sense. All right, I see. I think the justification that the giraffe is using to let Hikari continue to have another shot at this, right? A stage of destiny where no one can predict what happens, right? I think again, somebody in the comments said the giraffe is almost like an audience surrogate for the people that are watching the play. Who better to root for than somebody that's lost before? The kind of redemption arc, the kind of underdog story. Of course, this would be interesting as a storyline, and he prioritizes interesting stuff for the giraffe and the audience and all that side of it, right? Makes sense to me anyway. Yeah, so now we're going to Japan. The timeline stuff here is kind of weird. I guess the giraffe is just like eternal because Hikari shows up because of these events occurring, but these events must have occurred in like loop 59 or whatever. You know what I mean? Like there's some weird, there's some fuckery afoot for sure. Just like I guess the time in the underground theater sections exists differently to the time above ground, I guess. Yeah, and again, alluding to this upcoming fight that we're going to have to put on between Hikari and Karen, that they probably don't want to fight each other, but it's coming. Yeah, so that brings us into the review of Solitude. Solitude makes a lot of sense. Hikari purposely isolated herself through this episode's story, away from Karen, away from that whole thing. Interestingly enough, we also have Banana in the review of Solitude, which makes a lot of sense as well. She is separate from everybody else. She has knowledge that others don't know. She has the knowledge of a large number of lifetimes, and that isolates her from everybody else just on a base level. It's like kind of that immortal person problem that I was alluding to last week, right? Where you have this supernatural power that separates you so much from the human experience that you kind of just can't relate anymore, and that's isolating. So I see Solitude for that as well. Is this song called Recreate? That's a good name for this song too. This is the best review by far, I think. This is exactly what I wanted out of this concept for a show when I first heard about it. Yeah, this is about all I could hope for. She has her own little intro, very similar to Karen's little intro before she starts her review. It's all for the sake of Starlight. Look at those lighting cues, baby. They go crazy. And who are we fighting? We're fighting Banana. This came a little bit earlier than I thought. I thought Banana would have been a little bit more of a final boss-ish figure. But here she serves as a little bit more of just like a gatekeeper, right? I guess this talking to a little bit of the destiny element to what we have going on, right? So imagine how the other older loops may have played out. This could have been a fight with anybody else that Banana's having right now, leading into that fight with Tendo Maya, wherever and whenever it may be. And of course, we have some lyrics to read. The kind of, I guess, light blue, tealy color representing Hikari, and then we have yellow for Banana, obviously. For the sake of the promise we made, sings Hikari with the first line. It'll be fine, don't be afraid, says Banana in turn. I feel so bad for you using such a small sword. Hey, yo. But yeah, there's definitely something in like little almost pocket knifey thing versus like dual wielding. It's insurmountable odds as it stands right now. This weapon may grow a little bit in the future of the scene to something bigger. The sword you hold is trembling was in the lyrics as well, which we've seen before, kind of the shaky hand. Even a small glimmer, says Hikari. I bid farewell to this world steeped in sorrow, says Banana. I'm going back to my happy place, kinda. Yeah, okay. Kind of like angry Banana on screen right now as well. Maybe I should use this for a thumbnail. I don't know, maybe there'll be a better one next episode, we'll see. I'll protect the people who matter to me, says Banana. Banana, yeah, very different Banana this episode. Very villainous Banana, even. That's, yeah, it's a different look for her, especially in the voice. She kind of sells it pretty well. Again and again, kind of back and forth. I'll turn back in the face of despair. I'll turn back around, I'll do another loop. We bring in the stage setting, very, very similar to the one that happened over in London, the one that's a little bit traumatic to Hikari potentially. Again, the Banana dialogue here, all these like kind of trials and tribulations. I'll protect you from everything that torments stage girls. I'll put it all on my shoulders, right? We don't have to live in a world that has this level of pain in it, right? Just let me win. We'll go back to do the loop again, and everything will be good again. We'll go back to a happy place. We also see that simultaneously we have the fight between Claudine and Karen going on, which is an interesting matchup for sure. I wonder how Claudine feels about losing it. That'd be one to follow. Of course, we're like talking about the similarity between Hikari and Karen here. What drives you, Karen? A promise I made with Hikari. What drives you, Hikari? A promise I made with Karen. So we have the idea of like almost like a house fire, like ruins, burning. Lots of ideas there, right? And when we use water later on, it's all very well done, right? Even from an earlier point in the episode, we had contrast between red and blue. Just yeah, again, simple shit. Do your simple shit. You simplify shit. You do it well, and it creates meaning. It's amazing, right? This hand that was potentially only just kind of there before is now a full-on like evil gremlin hand looking to attack her. Again, I'm seeing this as the stage being hostile. Again, Banana posing this very similar question. Why do you fight? I fight for Karen. My destiny awaiting me. Karen, my destiny? It's not gay at all, by the way. I just wanted to brag a little to Karen. This is where we see that kind of shaky hand stuff going on as well. So yeah, I wanted to learn about this to impress Karen, kind of. And that's how it started, and then it kind of spurred on to a little bit more of a real thing. And that's the moment I was born as a stage girl, that initial meeting and connection between Karen and I. Firming again. So I'll go back, just make sure that everybody in the audience knows, again, shaking into firming. Shaking firm. Very, very important. Very, very important visual idea for where the ending of the episode goes. Having lost everything, my promise with Karen kept me bound to the stage. I'll become a stage girl once again, she says. It all started unexpectedly. Before I knew it, my fate had changed. These are the lyrics now. So Hikari kind of lost sight of Karen in her initial pursuits in the early episodes, right? I thought the only way to fulfill my promise with Karen was to, again, much like me leaving, isolate myself, solitudeify myself, right? I thought that this was the only way for success, right? For me to mindlessly beat all these people and get this thing and then achieve my goal. Where in reality, Karen was the one that reminded you of, hey, we can do this together. I awoke the moment we made that promise. The girls are starting anew, even if I can't do it alone. And yeah, despite everything, we have Karen in that initial episode diving into something she doesn't understand, sorting to protect Hikari from Juna from memory. Inserting herself into the situation, breaking the rules of the game, and changing Hikari's philosophy as a result. I don't want to deprive Karen of her glimmer, similar to how mine has been deprived. Deprive anybody else of their glimmer as well as a result, right? We're, again, in the rest of the story of the show, we're starting to feel a little bit more like a collective group, IMO. So I don't want to steal from any of these people, but if I don't beat anyone, then my personal glimmer will go away as well. So what should I do? In that case, we just need to pass together. Again, reinforcing our visual ideas of the kind of slide and the tower and the hand holding and the connection and the everything there. But yeah, pass together, I'm sure. Putting kind of Hikari's fears aside, right? Hey, we don't need to participate in the game the same way we think we should, right? In retrospect, this is a very important scene. And using this memory of kind of shining together, Starlight with you, we need to, it's not going to be this kind of rivalry zero-sum game thing. I'm going to push against the system, I'm going to push against Banana, and I'm going to succeed. All the light shine on her weapon, and her glimmer returns. Look at that. Our dream is taking shape. We see this weapon change, and fucking a bunch of shit happens. Fucking Tokyo Tower falls out of Tokyo Tower. Moving into the second act of the review, Blooming the Star. Crashing into the water, creating water to kind of conflict against the fire that we saw before. The draft says it himself, the remaking of the Glimmer. Yeah, this is fucking so good. I think I undersold how good it was. This is just all I want in all fiction all the time is something like this, right? Awe-inspiring, emotional, sweeping, visually exciting, packed full of meaning. Did I say emotional? Genuinely emotional? Yeah. This is why I do this. is episodes like this. When we were young, we planted a small seed together, and now it has started to bloom in full. Ooh, almost like cutting through the wave there too. That's fucking awesome. Guided by the star, I won't lose again, I won't give up, as we're fucking beating Banana's ass. I'm reaching out towards where you are, I won't run away, I won't cry. Heading for our promised place, I've wanted to see you all this time. We are once again connected by the stars, we can make a miracle happen. And yeah, Hikari wins, ladies and gentlemen, after her big, sweeping, emotional, glorious moment. This is a show that had production issues, by the way. What the fuck are you talking about, man? Yeah, so in a very similar way, we see kind of Banana's cape fall, like here, into Claudine's cape falling here. Yeah, determined Karen as well. And that marks the end of the 6th day of auditions. We won, ladies and gentlemen. But once the lights go out, Banana's asking the real questions. You understand how this works, Hikari. Starlight is a tragedy. You can't avoid parting in the end. Will you continue on knowing that, hey, you'll probably have to fight Karen one day? Are we going to find a way around it? Are we going to fight each other to the death? Is it going to be emotional? Is it going to be beautiful? Yes to those last two at least. Yeah. Again, Banana's probably pretty mad right about now, I'd be guessing. Yeah, and then into ED, I believe there's a small post-credit scene. So if we're looking at our leaderboard here, we have Karen on the up, we have Hikari on the up, we have Nana keeping position. Maybe that means the next fight will be between Karen and Banana. But yeah, we still got a solid top two up the top. Again, probably leading to some sort of Claudine Maya episode, you would think. Even on the same ranking with Banana, now that I see it, calling out them as the Destined 2, based on the hair clips as well. A lot of Destiny this episode, huh? But yeah, that episode's amazing. I think it's even better than the one that came before it. So I think this is better than the Banana episode. It's probably the new best episode of the show. I probably really liked, again, episode 7 and episode 3 up to this point, but this one probably takes the cake. It's probably the best one. So that's good. And now we're going to go watch another one, so buckle in. So yeah, got episode 9 up here ready to go. Let me pop that up there. 24 minutes and 7 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly. And should still be in the same picture in the description below. And just going to give it a 3, 2, 1. Radio. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, not the script. Okay, so we're in some semblance of normalcy. Yeah, you don't seem that too thrilled about that. Oh. Okay, ma'am. It most certainly is. Okay, so we're really moving towards the performance now. Oh, thanks, Karika. Oh, Banana's fucking hating this. All these changes? Can't be having that. Thanks, Karika. Yeah, difference, change. Oh, I like the new. I don't know what that means. Yeah, that's better. Yeah. Oh, that's pointed as well. This is the Fuck Banana tour. What'd Shakespeare know about plays? What a phony. YOLO? Okay, I mean, yeah, where's Banana in all of this? This is just like subtweeting Banana. Yeah, she hates it. Yeah. Yeah, true. There is no guarantee that the leads will be the same. Oh, okay. That's ominous. Okay. I don't think Banana likes it very much. Especially the lighting there as well. We always got that 45 lighting with Banana. Well, great. I get to talk for a little bit. Because I've got something that I meant to say during the analysis portion last time. I forget the last time I was this jazzed about a show. I think it might have been Wonder Egg Priority. Which, if you know anything about Wonder Egg Priority, those feelings didn't stick around. Um, I was so jazzed about Wonder Egg Priority when it started coming out. Yeah, did not end well. Another show that had production issues. But apparently this one sticks the landing with some kind of movie, so sure. We'll back it in. Yeah, but just from the point of view of like hugely emotional episodes with massive visual spectacle that are about a mainly female cast fighting, but kind of fighting. It's like metaphorical fighting. There's some similarities there for sure. I see them anyway. Obviously, One Day Priorities way more serious subject matter wise. But yeah, just a couple similar shows, right? Yeah, Banana's gone crazy. Something happened about 60 times over. That's good. So do you. We just saw a whole episode about how you're just as into it as she is. Oh, it's based on a book? Yeah, we hate that. It means I can read it. It's good. Might read it when I pause later on. Interesting, because that's like the same thing that we see during her episode. Oh, middle school stuff. Okay, Juna, what's going on? Yeah, you reckon? What are you saying? Uh, yeah, I know you're very solituded. Oh, you were even solituded before that. Okay. Yeah, I guess going from one extreme to another would do that. Yeah, we know. We know it's all fucked up. Okay. Yep. Okay, this is the one from before. Okay. Not the meteor shower. Not the shooting stars. Damn. It's almost like it's about Karen and Hikari or something. Oh, we're telling it with the framing device of the book, of course. What? But you can't remember. Yeah. She's killing the acting, too. Okay, so we're getting a lot more of the story now. Well, forgetting memories is interesting. I mean, yeah, it's very obviously a metaphor about the rest of the show, right? Yeah. Oh, okay, so that's where we have the 2 stars up the top. Ah, the goddesses. Okay. Arrogance. Zetsubo. No. Yes, indeed, there's that line. Ah! Blinding red light. Okay, so she got blinded? Okay, so he had to, like, give up something for it. Look at that little pink sparkly. Indeed, okay. So with a few extra details, that's pretty much what I thought the show would be. Okay. Eternal. And, yep, yep, Why is she so small there? It's worth everything. The experience. Sure. Yeah. Yeah, this is interesting. How much of this is Juna picking up? Yeah, I did say that. Yeah, give me my frog book. Yeah, how much of this are you picking up? What do you mean? Oh, we hate Junjun. We hate that name. She's gone crazy. We hate it when it's not our Starlight. Oh, we're going to go fight, are we? Okay, it's time to engage. Okay, who you fighting? What? Well, okay, yeah. So, yeah, it wasn't Hikari, it was Karen. Gotcha. Kind of what I theorized at the start of the video. That because of Hikari, Karen changed. And now we get this kind of intro sequence that we haven't gotten in a little bit. Whoa, lasers. What, bananas? Talking about fruit? Okay. Whatever you say, banana girl. Okay, yeah, I thought it might have been Karen versus banana. Review of Bonds? The underwear? Oh. This is a very, feels almost post-rock. Not post-rock, prog rock. I knew that sounded wrong. Like that like you kind of very like theatery concept albums, that kind of vibe. I think you're about to get discarded like a banana skin. How dare you call her Jun Jun? It's kind of like, what the hell are you talking about, man? That's funny. Like, yeah, Karen would have no idea what she's talking about. Daikirai. Oh my god. Yeah, this song's awesome too. Oh. Mm-hmm. This voice acting too. Non non. Ah, swing that mace. Love my hero. Oh, she's sick. Bit of drama here in Karako and Claudine too. No, see, no, you're wrong. I like that the state big 99 on it too. She walked out of the Venn diagram. No. The musical style changed so much too. Yeah, great. So that's like the mirror shot of how Banana won. Gotcha, bitch. How much longer is the episode? Oh, yeah, still got a little bit. I didn't think we were close to the end. Indeed. But now we're going to put an arm around you because we're good friends. It's time for you to build a bridge. Oh, no, it's Chuna. It's time for her to build a bridge and get over it. Or with the statue in the background. Yeah. Kinda. But I think your heart's in the right place. Kinda. What? Yeah, I felt like it was Shakespeare. You're just a walking spark notes. Yeah, give us another one. Okay. Go off, I guess. I thought you were doing Shakespeare stuff. She's just quote of the day. She's gone crazy. Who the hell is that? How many how many more you got? Yeah. Oh, okay. Like your own kind of like intro quote. That's a quote by me. Yeah. That's funny. Shout out to Jonah. I've never seen you like this sad before, so yeah, a little bit. Look at these kind of wife swapping. What's going on there? Well, I mean, I know what's going on there, but you know what I mean. Yeah, in your own way, you were making it better than before. This song here, it's kind of like plays during the shows. When else did it play? Yeah, just give her a hug. That generally makes most things better. Yeah, you kind of ruined everything, but it's okay. Yeah. Now kiss on the lips. Yeah, use it as a bit of like a memento, a souvenir potentially. All right, interesting. We're just kind of not solving bananas issues, but we're bringing some kind of conclusion to it. Interesting. Is this a Juna banana? Banana's singing now, by the way. Think about it. She wants it to end. Okay, that gives credence to that one commenter as well with that theory. Yeah, I don't know what happened between episodes there, right? Because 8 so fantastically produced. And not saying like again, 9 wasn't bad. It wasn't badly produced, but it was a step down for sure. Just an interesting production quirk. Like noticeably like less animation, like especially during the early parts of the episode. Which again is fine. I like it. I don't care. What's more important is kind of the furthering of the plot and the musical stuff. This episode was really good and lots to like. Lots to like for sure. the retelling of the story. We get a genuine look at what Starlight is about and why it may be ominous for the future of Karen and Hikari. But we've been predicting that for a long time. So yeah, any post-credit stuff? No, just a little bit of a preview probably. Oh, big old giraffe ass. Okay. The show must go on. See, what I'm going to do here is I've gotten pretty tired and I need to do some jobs. So I'll come back tomorrow and we're going to write our summaries then, kind of relook through both episodes, write a little bit in the Google Doc, and then rewatch this one finally. But yeah, I can get the kind of the picture stuff rendering in the meantime. This episode was good, wasn't as good as the previous one, which is it's a hard one to follow. I'll say that. But yeah, we'll see what other tidbits I can find in tomorrow's session. But I'll catch you later in the meantime. Hello, hi, welcome back. It is the next day. I've slept on episodes 8 and 9. 8 is incredible. I think I said it so yesterday. 9 a little bit less so, but we'll talk about what it does well, what it potentially does not so well right now, actually. but first, evidence that I've written a recap for 8. I know it's not particularly relevant now, but at least we've got a couple of the ideas still jogging around in our heads. I'll probably read through both of these at the start of next week, you would think, just to get me back up to speed, because I do tend to forget things. But either way, I'll jump into episode 9 stuff now. Episode 9 starts with the class getting the new and improved script to Starlight and commenting on all the changes. Banana is noticeably pissed, whilst everybody else is either a little bit ambivalent or pretty positive about it, right? Showing the difference between Banana and the rest of the class as it pertains to change, as it pertains to the new Starlight, as it pertains to that whole stage girl thing about, moving on. No stage performance is the same again twice. I think a lot of the stage girls understand that, and Banana's a little bit more hesitant. Interestingly enough, I've written out a little bit of stuff about Starlight, the actual play, right? So we take an opportunity to look at the actual plot, right? And what actually happens. There's been allusions in the past about the different events of the play, but now we've got them all in order and we can actually sit down and analyze it, because it is very, very obviously allegorical to the anime's events, you would think, right? I can say as such with each of these points. There is a anime equivalent to what has happened with Karen and Hikari, or any of the other girls that potentially may metaphorically represent any of these characters. So yeah, jumping in first here, Claire and Flora meet at one point and hit it off. Hikari and Karen meet at one point and hit it off. A year later, a long time later for Karen and Hikari, they meet again. Claire has forgotten Flora, but there's some kind of unshakable feeling that is missing. So I relate this to when Hikari showed back up into Karen's life again and was kind of distant. That's almost like forgetting. It seemed like Hikari didn't remember the kind of passion behind the promise that Karen exhibited, right? And, she was obviously very open about all that kind of stuff, right? Where Hikari had her own motivations for why she didn't do that. Thinking back on it now, right, you'd think Hikari needed to win this tournament to get her glimmer back. So in order to have any opportunity whatsoever to continue her dream, though that dream may be linked into Karen, she needed to win. She needed to beat this. So that's why it's so frustrating when Karen jumps in and saves Hikari, right? And involves herself in the process. It means, hey, in the process of me trying to regain my glimmer, in trying to regain my passion, regain all that kind of stuff, you're now an obstacle, and you've made yourself an obstacle here, which is, it makes a whole lot more sense now why Hikari acted the way she did at the start of this episode. But anyway, I'm rambling about episode 8 stuff. Either way, so back in the play itself, Claire has forgotten Flora, but there's some kind of unshakable feeling. There's some kind of that special something, that something maybe like there's some connection there, but you can't remember it. Need to make their way to the top of the tower to regain memories again. So we can think about this allegorically to the show as Tokyo Tower. Makes a lot of sense, right? They meet at kind of Tokyo Tower slippery dip slide thing. That's kind of an equivalent as well. So they need to pass trials and tribulations of 6 goddesses that block the path. I don't know how many rounds of auditions we do, but there certainly are, well, there's more than 6 now, but there's 7 other characters in the show that seemingly stand in the way and have different themings around them, right? That's why we're naming the different reviews what we're naming them as well, right? Either way, after all these trials and tribulations, and this may be speaking to future stuff, they get to the top, and after reaching for the star, 2 people reaching for a star, 2 people reaching for a tiara maybe, Flora gets blinded, falling from the tower, and Claire regains her memories. So Flora being the Karen, you'd think, and then Claire being the Hikari. This bodes for tragedy, which is no good at all. So back in real life, Banana kind of starts to lose it, and this I think is treated pretty well, at least visually. I think it's a little bit quick, kind of. I guess okay. I think in the previous episode, in episode 8, we just need a few little interconnecting scenes showing a little bit more Banana stuff, but I don't know how you do that to make this feel a little bit more worthwhile. Because 7's great. Episode 7's great. And then the end of 8's great, where we have that little stuff with Banana, but there's kind of nothing else between that to justify such a change of heart very quickly. In my opinion. It just feels a little bit on the quicker side. Either way, telling all this information to Juna. Juna's kind of freaking out. Banana begins to have the realization that, hey, Hikari wasn't never the problem. It was how Hikari impacted Karen and Karen's involvement that's ruined things and enabled you, or not enabled you, to do these reenactments again. Just as she realizes this, a kind of review audition fight thing starts between Banana and Karen. Karen beats Banana, and Banana feels down. Oh no. Juna does a great job of cheering her up with all those quotes and stuff. It was pretty touching, and I guess we'd say charismatic scene. It did a lot for Juna's character again, I think, as well. And yeah, I think we've made peace with this plotline, potentially. I mean, maybe not the further implications of how much power this audition process has to impact the rest of the world and other people, but at least the Banana stuff, I think. I think she's moving on. I think she's feeling a bit better, which is good. But again, just feels a little bit quick for mine. Themes, I think I have something written here. Yeah, can we beat the allegorical story allegations? Let me explain. So, as I just said before when I was reading out the plot of Starlight, there's a lot of connections to the main plot. And this story, Starlight, doesn't end well for the main characters. Is our anime allegorical equivalent thingo, I can't speak, going to end as poorly? Are we setting up expectations for a bad end? Don't know. And it's especially intriguing considering there's a movie. So whatever happens in the end of the 12-episode anime, there needs to be some kind of continuation possible, right? Is it just another audition process? Is there some kind of weird ending to the audition process that fucks everything up and we need to reverse back ourselves? And I don't know what's going to happen. It's actually got me very, very intrigued. Normally by about this spot in a 12-episode anime, even with a movie, you would have a pretty good idea of where your conclusions are going to be. And I don't really. And that's exciting? Question mark? I think so. And yeah, just down here, production is a little bit all over the place. Sometimes incredible, like 8. Sometimes a little bit down. I don't know. Just, yeah, I'll point out some of it here in a second, but especially the part before the opening in this episode 9, just, yeah, not a lot of movement in those characters. Feels kind of cheap, but it's okay. We can get over kind of cheap. Here we are. It's the new script for Starlight. And immediately in the episode reaction, the person I was looking for is Banana, right? She hates this shit. Yeah, look at that face, right? Like... Amemiya-san finished it yesterday. The little yawn there, probably finished it late into the night. Just tentative smile from Banana, right? Like, clearly trying to be nice, but not really feeling it, for pretty obvious reasons. Yeah, stuff like that, just like the wides where we're just kind of moving across and there's one character's face moving, then there's not a lot of animation on that. Again, it's fine, like, but it's just not stuff that I saw in 8, really. I guess there was... Hikari was kind of running with very similar looking animation, but at least the backgrounds were nice and varied and stuff. I don't know. At least it was kind of interesting because it was a new setting. I don't know. Futaba here wanting her weapon to be made longer, which is an interesting one. Is that like a height thing? I don't know. Karako seemingly being pretty important in the costume design process, which is cool. Yeah, again, explicitly talking about differences between last year's and this year's, like how more direct can you get between, hey, this is 99, this is 100. You know what I mean? Could we do a little bit of a table read on the script, which is good. You should do that as actors. Again, don't want to sound like a broken record, but again, talking about the changes between 99 and 100 very explicitly, right? Setting up this banana reveal. Oh, so now seeing the end of the episode, life is as tedious as a twice told tale, which I think is a Shakespeare quote, comes up again. Again, very pointed to the banana stuff. Like Karen's being like really dumb here though. First there was the part with like the word she didn't understand, and then there's like not understanding the Shakespeare quote as well. I don't know. I never saw her as like dumb. I guess she was. I guess she was dumb. Again, everybody at this table read, all very happy about the changes, all very pointedly talking about how good change is, and Banana's just kind of like zoning out. Looks kind of down. Sucks to be Banana. Again, 99. 100. Do we want to talk about like a 45 shadow lighting that was used in Banana's episode as well, quite explicitly over her eyes at one point, right? So light and dark, banana, shadow, ominous, words. You know what I mean? Because yeah, this is all very banana POV-ish IMO. Like these two, we hate Karen and my hero apparently because they're in the darkness, but I'm in the light, I'm in the right. The right is also the previous year. This new thing is strange and weird and not like it should be. Even the difference between these two images, I'm not quite sure it's going to be as like scary as this looks in the real play, right? But this looks like it almost kind of mirrors the post festival little party they had, right? Kind of looks like that visually to me. Where this looks cold, uninviting, different, strange, fucked up, all kinds of different words, right? Yeah, this feels very banana POV because this looks noticeably worse than the other one. You can even say like the wind there, the winds of change with it. I don't know, interesting one for sure. Pretty cool little frame. This was interesting in the moment as well. The characters immediately clued in that Banana's a little bit off. I guess when she's like noticeably the happiest, most perfect person all the time, when she's not like that, even slightly, it becomes very jarring. So the characters notice it. But yeah, now we jump into this portion of the episode, which is Karen and Hikari have a look at the original story of Starlight. So yeah, we bust out the source material, the Starlight Gatherer. The star remembers it all. When fury was passion, when curse was faith, when escape was bravery, when jealousy was affection, when despair was hope, when arrogance was pride. Interesting. So these obviously have meanings for our reviews and our different characters and stuff. So maybe keep this in the tuck for later on, and we can have a closer look at what each of these correspond to characters and that kind of thing, right? I'm very happy it's in English as well. That's nice for me. Even this is a story of a nearby and distant planet. It is an epic of ancient times, a drama of the far future. There once stood a tower, no one knows when, by whom, for what it was built. For the tower stood. I'm out of room. But yeah, I mean, I like to read English. English is cool. Oh, now looking at this, okay. I was curious as to what this like metal thing was, right? But very clearly now it's the kind of pinnacle. It's the top of the tower, right? Where the two stars would sit. Hence why the two stars are there in the box as well. There's the curtain over this. We're not using this similar stuff anymore. It's got the curtain over it. We'll keep it for a different time. But yeah, we're not putting on the same performance again. Very noticeably with this. Also, this kind of again, I don't know, tower. We're going to call it a tower. Featured prominently in Banana's episode as a piece of visual design. I think it was also on a 45 as well. Yeah, lots of fun visual stuff here. It's important because Banana's having a look at it, feeling forlorn. Makes a lot of sense. Cool, and then it gets a little bit tragic. So we jump into probably only a smidgen of Banana backstory, but I think they do a good job with what they have, right? So we're instead of a 99th cultural festival for a start, it's a 7th. This is Banana's middle school. She's pretty clearly the only one in this club/class. She wanted to put on a play. She clearly had the passion for it, she just didn't have the bodies. But yeah, one of her teachers in middle school gave her the idea to apply to Seishore Music Academy if she really wanted to do something like this, and lo and behold, she did. So again, like talking of great contrast, going from what is probably like the loneliest you can be in school, right, to one of the best experiences of her classroom life in the very next year, right? So why should I try to attain things that are better when I've already experienced the best? Right? I'm just going to stay kind of in my comfort zone almost and keep experiencing the best time of my life. There's also the explicit part where students drop out. So I'm guessing that she probably still has some kind of fear regarding participation, regarding having bodies to accomplish these kind of theater things. If we have less bodies, then, well, who knows? It could go up in smoke just like it did in the past. Why risk it? More and more, you're seeing her motivation for why she's done the things she's done when she's done them. Not that the initial episode did a bad job at that. That was one of the best things that it did do, justify why Banana thought this way. But yeah, there's a little bit even more going on there, which is good. Yeah, and then Banana gets a little bit weird. She says, kind of, it'll start again, the starlight of the 99th Seishou Festival. And yeah, we started to talk to Juna about some spoiler stuff about what she's actually been doing. I was alone for the longest time. It was only after coming here that I made friends who I could create plays with together. I have to protect my starlight, she says. Yeah, lines up very well with what we know about Banana up to this point. Cool, I really like this segment. It's probably the standout segment of the episode, going into kind of Starlight the play and seeing how it plays out. The performances by both Claire and Flora as Claudine and Maya, not respectively, but you know what I mean, do a great job at showing the story in a kind of believable way. It also helps to kind of play out the events of the previous year in the same way that Banana would be reliving the events of the previous year as well. So there's a little connection there to the Banana stuff. I think both Claudine and Maya do a good job of acting as actors, if that makes any sense. Or I should say their VAs do a good job of doing that, right? You can very much tell that they're, in their teens and acting. Doesn't feel as natural, but it also feels very classical and something that a prestigious school like this one will put on. Yeah, just give them their roses. It's good. That was a great line as well. Kind of, this play takes place in both the distant past and the faraway future, speaking to the timeless quality of the storytelling. So there's a star festival, a meteor flies by every year. I met Flora, I met Claire. You don't want to know how many takes that I've had to cut out where I've called Claudine Claire as well, just like in random conversation. Those two names linked in my mind for some reason. I guess they sound the same a little bit. So yeah, agree to meet the next year, same spot, really hit it off. Sounds good. I don't know if it's a hit it off in a I love you kind of way or hit it off in a like, we're really good friends kind of way. I don't know. So both of the girls turn 16. It's the night of the next festival. We meet again, and yeah, Claire has no idea. Claire doesn't know what the hell's going on, who's who. Yeah, kind of soundtracked by it feels like a choir, like a high school choir again. Again, helps to sell the idea of a performance put on by a high school. And sounds great to boot. So yeah, great decision musically. Yeah, again, Claire's kind of racked with like, hey, I know this is important, but I forget. I forgot. Cool, then Flora gets the idea. We're going to go to the tower on the day of the Star Festival. If we seize the star at the top of the tower, perhaps your memories will return. Alright, and then this makes a lot more sense about the small star and the big star, because there's a small star and a big star at the top of the tower. If you pluck a small star, you'll gain a small amount of happiness. If you grab the big star, if you pluck that big star, you obtain great wealth. If you pick them both, you will obtain an eternal wish, which is kind of what Banana ended up using as well. Either way, yeah, Claire, Flora make their way to the base of the tower. There's a bunch of goddesses standing in the way that have various emotions associated with them. So, okay, we specifically get a pause frame with each of these characters with their emotion, right? So who am I looking at here? Is that Juna? Juna Fury? Karako Escape? Sure, I guess. I guess she was running away in her little story that we had. And Juna Fury definitely makes sense as well. We've gone through Karen and Arrogance. Curse with Futaba. Don't really get that one, but sure. Jealousy with Mahiru is very obvious. Despair with Banana. Said despair into hope in that little pamphlet we got as well at the start. Okay. That's kind of despair into hope is part of her storyline even this episode. Yeah, but yeah, they're not going to give any stars to Claire and Flora. And I'd imagine a lot of the plot of the play itself is going through these various goddesses and, you know, going through their part of the story and figuring out what their backstory is and why they're sinful and kind of making peace with that in a way. Yeah, I don't know what the connotation is here with all the goddesses down below. Are they pissed? Are they happy and hopeful that they're grabbing the stars? Is it sinful? Is it not? I don't know. Either way, Flora gets fucked up, gets blinded by the star, and in that blindness kind of falls off the tower. And yeah, we've seen this exact stuff play out with kind of Hikari and Karen in the roles in the start of a previous episode. Does not bode well. So yeah, it's kind of just like a tragedy. That's where we end. That's kind of it. And yeah, as I talked about before, is this going to be indicative of where the plot goes? Are we going to have a tragic ending? Or are we going to subvert that and kind of break out of the allegory? I don't know. Yeah, but upon reading the story of her favorite play again, she says it's great. Thanks, Karen. But for the record, Hikari likes it too. Specifically, Karen's really impressed with Flora's character stuff, and Hikari's really impressed with Claire's stuff. Who'd have thunk it? Back in present day, present time, Banana is talking about how much she loves Starlight in a similar way to Karen and Hikari. Yeah, very explicitly saying for her own stage of destiny, for her wish, she chose a reenactment of the last year and the play and all that kind of stuff. Telling Juna the spoiler. Say Juna puts 2 and 2 together very quickly, immediately goes to the giraffe stuff, goes, okay, so you won. You wished for this, and that you've been looping all this time? Again, she's a smart character, so it makes sense. Cool, Banana's starting to put everything together as well, right? Initially blaming Hikari-chan transferring here as the impetus for things going incorrectly, not how they used to. The Juna-chan I know is not called Jun-Jun is a great line as well, right? So bringing Juna into it, who is obviously close with Banana, and Jun-Jun being an explicit kind of... what's the word? Reaction. Consequence, that's a good word. A specific consequence of Karen's decision to jump in and block that fight between Juna and Hikari. Yeah, just kind of losing it. Really kind of going into that upper register, standing really panicked, as I think we'll see a little bit later as well. Really selling the performance for mine. Cool, we hear the notification, we're on our way downstairs, but I think Banana has to figure out some more stuff first. So what's changed, she's thinking, right? The 8-person auditions started with Hikari-chan participating. Karen, who always finishes last during the reenactments, was removed from the cast. So Karen jumping in is the problem. Hikari-chan is not. I don't get how this really works, but sure. It's because Hikari-chan came back that inspired Karen to make brash decision upon like seeing Hikari out a window and following her and jumping into her weird underground theater match. That's what changed everything. That's what ruined everything per se. Cool, we get this intro sequence for Karen that we haven't seen for a long time. It is notable that it's the first time we've seen it in a while in an episode that I think is a little bit lighter on the production side. So it's a reuse of animation. It's a really good animation. It's fun to see it again, but it's just, yeah, its placement is definitely apt, I think. Cool, then we get like some like a laser show or something, right? It's essentially like the front of her script, which has the kind of tower symbol thing and 99. So I said it looked like a Venn diagram in the moment, and it still kind of does. But yeah, she's standing at the top of the tower, the apex, needs to be moved out of it, needs that 99 to be changed to a 100. Also in the dialogue here, right? Fruits fully ripened and plump atop the sage, but they're all soft. Oh no, kind of like a banana. That's what I was thinking anyway. Like kind of like the soft fruit inside. I'm like the banana skin. I know food metaphors are weird, but I kind of get it. The review of Bonds has begun with our review song I don't know if it has a name over this side. Nope. Review of bonds. The bond between all the characters, kind of. The bond between the different classmates of that 99th year. I don't know. I don't know. I won't let anyone get in the way of my own eternal stage. Musically, this song I think is going for a little bit more of a kind of theater rock, prog rocky thing, especially with the guitars. With the banana section, we change our musical styles when we move into the Karen section. Of course, this one a little bit more like kind of harsh and fierce and kind of cutting through. Got those guitars munching away as well, which is good. The one who changed this was you, Karen. Starlight is an eternal story told by 8 people. There is no ninth person. You meanie? Yeah, kind of like you're not involved here, Karen. So who are the 8 then? I don't get it, right? So this is a story told by 8 people. I guess you're reliving it, right? That makes more sense, I think. Does it? Like, so what happened in the auditions? So Karen was just 8th perpetually, right? And just dropped out pretty quickly because she was 8th. But yeah, questioning Karen, what changed with Hikari's involvement and you? Why is this not like my reenactment? Again, kind of in that, again, you go your stages of grief. What's the one where they like go crazy? I don't know. Yeah, you'd probably say anger in those stages of grief now that I looked it up. But of course, Karen's steadfast in her motivations. I'm going to starlight with Hikari. Then Banana hates that. Change brings with it tragedy, is the lyric there as well. That's why I'll protect you all. And then, yeah, we see the starlight thingo that is now covered in the curtain in the real time. It's the metaphor. So Banana says she's going to cause her reenactment again if she wins. This is when Karen starts to take control and the lyrics change to her lyrics, kind of reinforcing this kind of stage girl performance idea that we've talked about. No one performance is the same as another. And that's why it's precious and irreplaceable that we burn so bright for that one moment, right? Its value is in its scarcity, is what she's saying. The sky shines differently today from yesterday. I want to show you this reborn star. Ooh, this is fun too. Okay, that's why stage girls are all reborn every time they go up on stage. Kind of talk to like the life cycle of a star as well. I don't know if you guys know much about it, but they essentially, burn really bright and then fade out and then get reborn. They go through that kind of process, right? Which is cool. I didn't know that we'll bring that side of the metaphor into it. That's nice. Like the actual like astronomical object of a star. Cool. Then yeah, we get Karen just kind of walking out of the circle, and this just kind of ruins everything. I don't know. It's a metaphor, I guess. And in the kind of lyrics here, I just want to treasure and protect you all. I treasure our meeting, and now it leads us to new strength, says Karen. Why are you shining like this? Why are you so dazzling? Yeah, and Karen goes and beats ass. We became connected by the stars. I'll protect this bond forever. Yeah, kind of passing the baton. I understand your talk in all of this, Banana, your point of view. I understand the kind of reverence that you have for everything here. I'll continue to protect it in my new role as number one, kind of, right? And then camera, look at the stars, pan down, sad old Banana. And then Juna's going to be a good girl for approximately like 4 minutes. Yeah, let's say 4 minutes. Yeah, this is a great scene for her. She essentially just cheers up Banana and lets her know that it's all going to be okay. Starting by handing back that old precious script to Banana, potentially something that she may have forgotten in the whole process of rushing down to the theater. Again, kind of the top of the frame there, we see that perfect stage girl, right? The 2 below it, again, we're making like a pinnacle with our frame as well, which is good. Yeah, I'm struggling to see what this infers, though. Did they struggle to kind of meet that standard of the stage girl, right? Is Banana's actions anti-stage, perfect stage girl stuff? I don't know. There's something there. So yeah, Juna thankful, understanding of Banana's motivations in all of this. When she's really down, gives her a quote. Men are men, the best sometimes forget. That's a quote by William Shakespeare. What does it mean? Let me think about it. Men are men, sometimes the best forget. Yeah, men are men, the best sometimes forget. She tried to play God in a way, right? That's kind of what we're saying. But at the end of the day, we're still bound by some kind of human idea, right? That it all comes to an end eventually, that there is death, there is no life eternal. and all men are created equal in that moment in death. Okay, alright. Shakespeare was kind of onto something, wasn't he? Okay. Shout out Shakespeare. Yeah, she just keeps like spitting quotes. She's like quote of the day for a bit, and it's kind of funny how much Banana wants to hear them. Just kind of impressed by her knowledge and also wanting to probably get her mind off things, right? It's again very endearing scene. Like kind of flustered about like needing to think of more quotes on the spot, but clearly has them in the kit bag. Like she's pretty switched on, Jonna. And then of course ending on a quote of her own. Everyone has their own destined star. A twinkling star, a morning star, a falling star. I may not be able to see my own star, but the me looking up will be gone tomorrow. Again, staying in the moment. Like, things are unknown. All that I know is I am here and now. It's a good old quote from Junna. Shannet's Junna. Seize the day, seize my own star. It's her own quote, putting it at the end, putting herself with the likes of like Nietzsche and fucking Shakespeare. Like, I don't know, there's some meta ego in that for sure. Banana sees the humor in it though, which is good. And the piano track here, I'm trying to track when it was in the show, but we've definitely heard it before. It's a very simple melody too. I forget, but please let me know in the comments. Banana has some kind of admittance of fault here. Potentially I was being too greedy. Kind of upon doing these reenactments, I would change the lines up a little bit and make changes to the performance and make little stuff to make it all run smoother and that kind of thing, right? But Hikari joined and Karen changed, everyone else started changing too. It's all change is good sometimes, right? So I'm imagining a lot of the like events of the show, like the little mini episodes for like Mahiru, Karako, Futaba, all these characters probably didn't play out the same way. And they didn't have those growth opportunities in the same way as a result too. Hey, change is good. So as a weird butterfly effecty result of what we had going on, Futaba and Claudine are now friends. Ain't that just the coolest? I think we also get a little look at Maya and Karako sharing a bath. Friends as well. Again, as a weird butterfly effect of what we had going on. Finally, accepting Banana as a real stage girl, right? You wanted to change things and make it better, which you kind of did during the reenactments, right? That's the same philosophy that we have right now to what we're doing to Starlight. As a stage girl, you'll be fine, so let's make it together. Nana. Ain't that just the sweetest? Now, and then the tears start flowing too. Yeah, I'm buying this too now between these two characters for sure. So there's a lot of stuff here. I thought it was potentially underdeveloped before now, but yeah, it's cool. Banana goes, what about this? Holding the script, right? The script that she's probably used this entire time. What do you mean? Take it with you. Take all of this with you, right? You don't need to forget about any of it. It still exists. You still have mementos of the past. You have the memento of 60 pasts right here of a time so special to you. This is your reminder now, and we can move forward with our lives. And yeah, that's our conclusion to the episode, baby. I think there was a little tiny thing post-credit from memory. Yeah, there's a big old giraffe ass. Yeah, just kind of the last day of auditions, implying that the next episode will be the last day of auditions. You would think there would be some kind of Tendo Maya connection to what we have going on next. I've been predicting it for like weeks, but yeah, you would think it would be soon. Kind of a deep dive into Tendo Maya, what makes her tick, a little bit of Claudine stuff in there too, probably as a result. The two characters that are yet to have a deep dive on them, I guess. If we want to talk about things that mechanically. But yeah, that was the end of episode 9, which again feels like a really short episode too. I don't know, but I ended up talking about it for probably way too long. But yeah, episode 8, great. Episode 9, pretty good. Moving forward to 10, 11, 12. Probably going to do that in whatever order I can. I know I'll be busy around this time next week, probably expecting just the one episode, then finishing off with 11, 12, and then the movie the subsequent week. That is the plan as it stands right now. But yeah, thanks for watching this week. It was a blast. Episode 8's amazing. I just want to keep saying that. And yeah, really, really looking forward to seeing where the end of the show goes, and I don't really know where it's going to go, which is cool. I'm going to do my shill stuff, though. If you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to improve my presentation, comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you would like me to follow you back. And the Discord, join Discord, love Discord, Discord, and I'll catch you guys next week for more Revue Starlight. Adios. I'll catch you guys later. Bye bye.